Thank you, Presiding Officer, and let me also very much welcome this debate and thank Rhoda Grant for giving us the opportunity to debate the important subject. Small-scale biomass is quite easy to support. It's sensible to make use of waste material close to the point at which it's available, be it from forestry or otherwise. It's also sensible to contemplate small-scale local coppicing of resources if that's appropriate. But, as others have said, importing substantial timber from halfway around the world makes absolutely no sense. And it's worth looking at the effect that might derive from that large-scale delivery of timber from one part of the world to another. The two sources the UK is likely to turn to are the Philippines and Brazil, likely to be very quick-growing cane crops. And, of course, the effect of continually replanting in a monoculture way crops simply to burn them elsewhere depletes minerals, reduces biological load in the soil, and dramatically reduces biodiversity in a way that's likely to be uncontrolled. By contrast, when we use some of our local resources in a controlled and limited fashion, we do so in the context of a forestry system which is tightly regulated and requires replanting of felled timber. That's a truly fungible approach where replacement of a consumed resource is not merely possible, but is required. I, like others, welcome the withdrawal of support for new proposals financially of over 10 megawatts. It's important that we protect the vital role that trees and vegetation generally have in capturing CO2 and returning to its constituents. We should focus on small-scale developments because they also can be something that local communities can get involved in and can benefit from, both economically and environmentally. They, as a minimum, wherever possible, should be partners. It's interesting, of course, that our timber industry opposes large-scale biomass because one might think immediately that increased demand for timber, driving the price of timber up, would be to the benefit of our industry. But, of course, the industry recognises that as price rises, that will drive buyers out of the market, particularly local small-scale buyers, and reduce the number of buyers in the market, leaving a few very large-scale buyers in the market who then will control the subsequent price. So increasing demand in this particular case does not necessarily benefit the seller. Now, we don't, of course, have the legislative competence in the area of energy. We merely have administrative powers that have been devolved to us. I'm not quite certain where this sits, but one area that is a difficulty in relation to exploiting the heat that's part of small-scale local biomass is, of course, difficulties around freestanding heritable rights of access, which south of the border are otherwise known as wayleaves. And it would be interesting if the Minister has anything to say on that. I recall visiting a plant in Dundee that had excess heat that they wanted to deliver to housing that was only a few hundred metres away, but could not get the necessary protected permissions for the pipes to do so. Very much welcome the debate, very much agree with the sentiments there, very much approve of the fact that we're not going to be burning precious resource in major plants. Small scale and local, that's the way to go. Presiding Officer.